When I look at guys our age and just guys as a whole, I see so many men like fully sprinting, dying, doing everything they can chasing women. All their brain is just filled up with that girl, you know. Their whole life is just obsessed about chasing these females. Look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, like talking about women sometimes. I talk about women, but chasing women wherever you go, constantly talking about women, it gets you into like a flow state because not only you lose the women, I don't know if you realize when you chase women, you basically make them repress you. Like they're like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but maybe in your lifetime you've had this girl that really needed you. You know, you're in a club or something and she just really wanted to get with you or just really wanted something from you. You got this like weird, like, fuck energy, you know? It's like, you know, that's like, it basically like represses you away from the girl. You're like, ooh, I don't want to be next to that. Now, the girls get that same thing when guys are chasing them, when they're doing everything they can to get the girl, buying her flowers, doing this, doing that. Oh, baby, what should we do tonight? Oh, baby, this. Oh, baby, that. It's like, shut the fuck up. Literally chasing girls, going to the clubs every single opportunity they get. Look, I go to the clubs myself, all right? And I'm gonna be honest, half the reason I go is to have fun with the boys, half the reason is for the girls. I'm not gonna sit here and cope and say, no, I only just go to the clubs to have fun and I don't care about girls. That's such BS. Girls say that, guys say that. Okay, but then why are you spending so much time putting on your stupid makeup and everything? Why are you spending time, you know, putting on your jeans, your little watch, all this stuff to go try kiss girls or something? And then you go to the club and you stand there with your drink just head bobbing. It's like, come on, mate, where's the fun? So I see this in a lot of guys that they're literally chasing women. And I also see this because I did this myself, right? I chased women. Not only I lost the women, I lost myself as well. Now, a lot of you might not realize that's true, but when you do chase the woman, all right, she gets repressed. She doesn't really want you. In the meantime, you lose focus of your whole idea, what you're doing, fitness, purpose, anything, and you lose yourself as well. I'm not saying like you lose your goals, but you lose the physique, you lose the diet, you lose your routine. When you actually chase yourself and make yourself your number one priority, you know, men will always prioritize their purpose. I've talked to girls, and I guess a lot of us already know that. Never listen to a woman because they don't know themselves what they want. Girls want a guy who gets it, all right? That's it. They want someone who just gets it. But I always find it funny when I talk to girls and they say, the guy I'm with, he should prioritize me 100%. His mission should be on satisfying me. Now, it's not a bad, like, opinion from them, but when you narrow it down, the guy is always going to be chasing her, and she's going to feel the best in the relationship. You know, she's going to feel like she's better than him, meaning she's going to be repressed from him, and her natural desire is going to be chasing some other alpha, some other guy who doesn't give a shit about her. Because I don't know if you've realized, when there's two girls, all right, let's say there's two girls in front of you. One girl is like so into you, she wants you and everything, and maybe she's not the best looking, all right? And then there's a pretty girl who's like, who's just mysterious, all right? She's not like completely running away, but she's also not chasing you. You will probably have more desire to pursue that and get with her because of this mystery. You don't know her. Then this girl who literally you know everything about, she's telling you everything, and she's kind of a bit annoying that she's always there. There's the same thing with females. Females want someone who, like, is mysterious to them, you know? And of course, they'll shit test you with all these stupid things like, oh, sweetheart, tell me what happened, you know? Tell me what happened. Your best advice is just to be like, honey, I've got it under control. Don't worry. Because once you tell them, all right, the mystery falls off. The mystery that she's building up in her feminine little mind has fallen off. And plus, look, at the end of the day, women have so much problems already. Do you think it's going to help you giving them more of your problems? Obviously not. That's why we don't do it. That's why you shouldn't do it. But back to the point of men prioritizing themselves, prioritizing your purpose, prioritizing yourself. You know, some people might say it's shallow, it's selfish. It's the way, because when you prioritize yourself, when you chase yourself and yourself only, it is so easy to get women. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be like super easy, like you just chase yourself and women are running with you with their legs spread open. But when you chase yourself, when you chase your fitness, your business, your diet, and then let's say you go out somewhere, it's going to be so easy to get any girl because you've already leveled yourself up to this like point in life where you're not running after girls like every other guy. You're chasing yourself. You're chasing your purpose, your business. Now, you know, you shouldn't chase women, but you should like have women. I'm not sure if that makes complete sense, but what I'm trying to say is that you're not chasing women, but you go somewhere, you talk to women, you get with that girl, you know, if you want to. You do this, you do that. If the girl's not interested, let's say you're talking to a girl, okay? And she just doesn't seem interested, or she's just shit testing you, and genuinely you don't want to be there, you leave. I was talking to these two girls, right? This was in Europe. I was talking to these two girls in our dorm because this was a hostel. All right, one of them was really pretty. They were talking to me. I was talking to them. I just got bored because they had nothing interesting to say, so I just left. You don't have to sit around wait with this like weird cloud about you, like you're waiting for something, you need something, you're waiting for her to say like, oh, shall we fuck or something like that. You know, the point I'm trying to make is if you don't want to be there, don't be there. Don't push your body into doing something it doesn't want to with this, all right? Just this women, all right? That means, look, that was a shit example, but that means like if you don't want to talk to her, don't talk to her. If you're talking to her and she gets boring, then just leave. If you want to kiss her and then you kiss her and then she wants to kiss you again and you don't want to, then don't kiss her. That doesn't mean like, oh, if you don't want to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. No, if you don't want to go to the gym, go to the fucking gym. That's something completely different. We're talking about women here. And the same thing, if you find her hot, but you like scared to approach her, approach her. Yeah, there's this difference with like just not being needy, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. Because yeah, like I said, you start chasing her, she's gonna lose all the respect for you. It's that simple. You want to always have this masculine feminine dynamic. You always want to see yourself as the prize. Oh, you know, I'm the prize for her, not the other way around. Because I want you to think about it. You strip a girl's beauty away. She's just this normal person. She scrolls, she takes shits. She does bad habits. She probably vapes, drinks, eats junk food, probably has like a shit personality. And the only reason you're chasing her is because she's pretty. You're giving her so much ego, so much of this that basically the dynamic goes like this. And then she sees you under her, and that's already a lost cause, pretty much. Now, there's a difference I want to talk about when, let's say, you're meeting a girl, okay? You're meeting a girl, maybe this girl has fallen in love with you and everything, and okay, first couple of months, great. First couple of weeks, great. Maybe the first time you see this girl is great. As the date goes on, maybe she starts losing respect, she starts losing some attraction to you. Maybe in the relationship, it works like that. You have to realize you and her fell for the person or got attracted to the person that you met, all right? So let's say you're this mysterious guy, you're just this I don't give a fuck guy, all right? And then you meet this girl and she's like all over you. And then let's say the next day you're like, oh, like giving her everything you can. She's naturally gonna lose respect because she liked the guy she met, not the guy she's there. So that's what I mean. If you're going into a long term relationship, be authentic. Don't put on a mask. Don't do some weird shit personalities. Be yourself if you're looking for a wife, if you're looking for a relationship. That doesn't mean don't be this beta chump. It also means if you're looking for something casual, don't be someone you're not. But hold frame, be more of this masculine version of yourself. Find your inner masculinity, come two and two with it. And don't change it, all right? Don't change. Let's say you, I don't know, hook up with a girl, all right? She wants to keep seeing you. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. You just don't. But you want to keep this mystery. You want to keep this person who you were when she met you. Because, I've experienced this myself. I met a girl, it was great. And then throughout the relationship, it just falls off because you guys become like best friends. You do all this shit together. You hang out so much together. And it fucking sucks. Hanging out nonstop with your girlfriend sucks. Honestly, spending 1 hour or 2 hours a week with them is probably the best because you can focus on yourself, you can level up yourself, and then you've only got like 1 to 2 hours to spend with her, so it keeps wanting more. You keep want more with this person. Then if it's just like every single day, look, I see couples, all right? I had this friend, he got a girlfriend, and I see them constantly together. Look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I do see the relationship dynamic flips a bit like this because she's a little bit more bossy than he is, and he's just naturally, I don't think he's found his inner masculinity, and he's not the type to like be big and just like, nah, fuck, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I can see it, and it's not ideal for a relationship, especially. Now, this video is titled "Pursue Yourself and the Red Pill, and You'll Win." The reason why the red pill, all right? Like you might ask, why the red pill? For me, I'm red pilled, and it's pretty much controlling your lust. All right? That doesn't mean when you're red pilled, you fuck every single girl. When you're red pilled, you do what you want to do, but it's more like a controlled lust. I don't know why a lot of people say, oh, if you're red pilled, you're going to fall into lust, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yes, you can, but you can also control your lust, because if you go into a relationship you're pretty much exposing yourself into lust anyways. Now, why the red pill? We literally live in a dating world that's collapsing. You might not know this, but it's pretty like fucked. All right. The dating market is completely cooked. Hookup culture is just normalized these days. There's no like really real love out there. Of course, you're gonna get like the the one offs and everything, but we're talking about the majority here. Okay, so instead of us changing that whole world, which is pretty much impossible, why don't we just get above it all? Why don't we just take advantage of this and become the best we can to this situation so we have all of it? Pretty much. Being red pilled is simple. You want to spin plates, you want to have, you can have relationships. People don't understand. They think if you're red pilled, you can't have relationships. You can have relationships, but you still should be red pill. The point of red pill is you holding frame, you being this guy that basically you're an alpha, pretty much like that. You don't care about like beta males. You're not like pursuing the girl. She's pursuing you because you're always pursuing different women. Now this goes back to the fact of not chasing women, all right? Let's say you have this opportunity, you go for it. It doesn't work out, you move on, you go to the next girl. That doesn't mean you're chasing women 24/7. You're basically just red pilled while you're controlling your lust. It is so easy for a man to have sex and then he gets none of it and he resorts back to porn. You have to overcome those urges. You have to overcome it to pretty much beat lust because people think, oh, I can't control lust because I get horny thoughts. You control lust when you get lustful, you get horny, but you say no and you move on. That's countering it, that's controlling it. So, if you're in a long term relationship, it's still best to become red pilled because you're mysterious to this girl, all right? This girl is feminine. She wants a masculine guy. Of course, there's a degree in the red pill what part you want to be in. Let's say it's a relationship, so maybe she's exclusive to you, but you're not to her. Because the truth is that not a lot of people will answer, and not a lot of people would admit, is girls would rather share an alpha than have some beta to themselves. Girls would rather share one guy who's all that than have some beta guy to themselves. And don't go up to a girl and ask her because she's gonna say, no, that's not true. But when have girls said what they want has actually worked out? Girls say they want this, they want that. If it's true, life would be easy. Dating women would be so easy. You ask them what they want, they say it works out. But it doesn't. Girls want the alpha. They want the guy who just gets it. It's that simple. They just want the guy who just gets it. He just gets it, all right? There's no questions asked about it. He just gets it. And of course, the red pill is formed that you chase yourself. You're not chasing women, you're chasing yourself while having an abundance of women and doing whatever you want with them. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have like 6 plates at one time. You can have 1 or 2. You don't even have to have plates. You can just stay red pilled. Because going through that, for me personally, I found out that's the best path. Because when I stopped chasing women, started chasing myself, that's when I started leveling up. That's when I stopped having this like urge for women. And when I go somewhere, it just comes naturally with women. It's so easy. It's like you're not going somewhere because of some women. You're going there because you want to go, you want to have fun. I don't know, let's say you go out with a girl, you take her to some beach, or you take her to some restaurant, or Restaurant was a bad example. You just take her somewhere, all right? And she's like, I don't like this place. A lot of beta chumps would be like, oh, okay, sorry, sweetheart, where do you want to go? The red pill guy is, I like this place, that's why I picked it. I like it here. You don't really think about, I know it sounds like really selfish, but that's the point. You don't really think about her. You think about what you like, and what you want to do. She's gonna see that, and she's gonna get naturally turned on. Look, this is literally feminine and masculine polarities. This is how it's always worked, and this is how it's always going to be. People can say otherwise, but this is how God created us. This is how it works. So you can say all this BS, but at the end of the day, a woman's gonna want a masculine guy. The reason you're seeing all these TikTok feminine boys get so many attraction from girls is because women have to do so much more these days. They have to work, they have to have goals, ambitions, all this. And then you see these guys who look basically like girls. So since these girls are more masculine, they're going to be attracted more to those boys because they're not men. But if you're a man, a man doing everything, chasing yourself, working on your purpose, business, fitness, eating clean, you're naturally gonna get the feminine. And it's always been like that, and it always will be like that. No pressure, but I have a paid course. It is the top link in the description if you want to join that. I'll see you in the next video, brother. Peace out.